In this lesson, we're going to be taking a look at the procedures necessary for solving multi-step equations. Now, it's based off the same idea of solving one-step equations, but of course, with more than one mathematical operation happening, more things have to be involved. In essence, when you have a multi-step equation, which means, for instance, division and subtraction or division and addition happening in the problem, you have to follow a little bit of extra procedure in solving that down. Now, the first step in solving a multi-step equation is going to be to simplify the expression on each side of the equal sign if necessary. Now, the simplification can involve distribution. It can also involve combining like terms. The less that's going on either side, the easier it's going to be to work with. Now, once we have both sides of the equal sign simplified as far as they go individually, then we engage our typical solving method of SAD-MAG. Now, something to take note of when we are using the solving method that I call SAD-MAG, groups, or the G, comes last. So that means if we do have those parentheses involved or other grouping symbols, we address it in the end. So let's take a look at a multi-step equation that is in need of solving. Let's take a look at the equation 2x plus 5 equals a negative 29. So, using SAD-MAG, do we see any subtraction or addition? And the answer is yes. We have 2x plus 5. So, how do we get rid of this addition? Well, its inverse operation is subtraction. So I'm going to subtract 5 from each side of my equal sign. And this gives me 2x is equal to a negative 34. Okay, have we taken care of all the subtraction and addition? Yes, we have. So next, do we have any division or multiplication? And now our answer is yes again. So we have 2 times x. The inverse operation of multiplication is division, so I'm going to divide both sides of my equal sign by 2, and this gives me x equaling a negative 17. And that is the solution to our equation. Now, when you have a solution to an equation, you can always substitute its value back into the original and simplify the expressions on both sides of the equal sign and make sure that they are equal. So if you ever get to a test where you're asked to solve equations, you should never come out of that test knowing if you did it right, because you're checking every single problem. In this case, if we were to simply go through and talk about it, take this x of negative 17 and substitute into this expression. 2 times negative 17 plus 5. Well, using GEMDOS, division multiplication, 2 times negative 17 is a negative 34. Negative 34 plus 5 is a negative 29. So yes, it does work. Now that was a verbal check. Of course, you can always go through, and it is preferred to go through and do a written check on a test. Next equation that we're going to have a shot at. Let's take 6 and 42 hundredths equaling a negative 8 and 1/10 plus 3x. And we're going to solve this. So, first question, do we have any subtraction or addition? Yes, here's my main variable, 3x, and to this I have multiplication here as well as addition. Now what is being added to my 3x? Well, it's a negative 8.1. How do we get rid of a negative number that's being added? Well, we can add that 8.1. A negative 8.1 and a positive 8.1 when added together becomes 0. What can you add to an equation and not change it, or add to a value and not change it? The answer is 0. So we have 3x equaling 14 and 52 hundredths. Next, do we have any division or multiplication? Again, our answer is yes. We have 3 times x, so I'm going to divide both sides of my equal sign by 3. And in the end, that's going to tell me that my x variable is equal to 4 84/100ths. And if you need, you can run through your long division for that to come out with the same answer. Next equation we're going to take a look at. Let's take 5x plus 6 minus 2x equaling 81. Now, first thing we should check always is, can we simplify either expression? In this case, the answer is yes. Because we have two x's on the same side of the equal sign, we can combine like terms. What is 5x minus 2x? Well, that is 3x. So this equation is actually 3x plus 6 equals 81. Any other simplification to happen? No, we do not. So we dive into it. So we start out with SAD/MAG. Do we have any subtraction or addition? Yes, we have a plus 6, so I'm going to subtract 6 from each side of the equal sign. This tells me that 3x is equal to 75. Then, do I have any division or multiplication? Yes, I have multiplication, so if I divide both sides by 3, I come out with a final answer of x equals 25. And we can go through and check that one as well. So when we are using, or when we are solving equations, simplify each expression on either side of the equal sign, and then follow the 4 steps of SAD/MAG in order to come out with an answer. Now with this, there are some situations, some opportunities where multiple solving methods are possible. Let's take a look at one such situation. So using 2 different methods, I'm going to solve the equation 2 times 1 minus x plus 3 equals a negative 8. Now, the first method I'm going to use for solving this is to use distribution first. So I'm going to copy my equation down. 2 times 1 minus x plus 3 equals a negative 8. If I use distribution on the left-hand side, I'm going to distribute my 2 to both items inside. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times a negative x is a negative 2x plus 3 equals a negative 8. Now, I can combine like terms. The positive 2 here and the positive 3 I can combine together to give me the value of 5. Then minus 2x equals a negative 8. Now I run into SAD/MAG. Do I have any subtraction or addition? Yes, I have this positive 5 on here. So how do I get rid of it? I'm going to subtract 5. A positive 5 and a negative 5 when put together do come out to 0 again. So negative 2x equals a negative 13. Do I have any division or multiplication? Yes, I have multiplication, so I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. And that gives me a final value of x equaling 6 5/10, or 6 1/2. So that's one method. Distribute first, combine our like terms, then follow SAD/MAG. The other, we can simply follow the methods of SAD/MAG, and I'll show you how that works. So we start again, 2 times 1 minus x plus 3 equals a negative 8. Now remember, in the solving method of SAD/MAG, groups come last. So outside of the group, do I have any subtraction or addition? Yes, I do. My first thing I'm going to take care of is this plus 3. I'm going to subtract 3 from each side. So that leaves me with 2 times 1 minus x equals a negative 11. Next, do I have any division or multiplication outside of my group? Yes, I have this 2 times, so I'm going to divide by 2. On both sides, my equal sign. And that leaves me with just what was inside of my equal sign, or inside of my group, of 1 minus x. And that is going to equal negative 11 divided by 2 is a negative 5 and 5/10, or 5.5. Now that I've taken care of things outside of the group, I'm going to go through and break the group itself apart. So, inside of the group, do I have any subtraction or addition? Yes, I have this positive 1 sitting out here, so I'm going to subtract 1 from each side. This tells me that a negative x is equal to a negative 6 and 5/10. Now, do I have any division or multiplication? On first glance, it might appear as if no, but remember, this negative x is actually a negative 1 times x. So I'm going to divide by negative 1 on both sides, giving me a final answer of x equals a positive 6 and 5/10. So you can see that there are multiple ways of going about solving in certain situations, but some might be a little bit easier for other people to do. Some people like distribution, some people really hate it. So you really do have to look at the situation. But when we have multi-step equations, simplify the expression on either side by either distribution or combining like terms, and then go through and solve the equation using our traditional SAD-MEG methodology. So get some practice with this and be ready for using it moving forward. Remember that if you do struggle, there's nothing wrong with having problems. The real problem comes in if you don't ask for help from somebody who can help you out. So ask your teacher or ask somebody else. Just make sure you get help and be ready to use this moving on.